The Bodhi tree stood tall, its leaves whispering secrets to the wind. Beneath it, Buddha gathered his disciples for teachings. Ananda, troubled by inner turmoil, approached the Buddha and bowed. "Master, I yearn for approval and fear rejection," he admitted. "Master, I struggle to calm my mind, yet my thoughts scatter. My meditations feel futile," Ananda confessed sincerely. The disciples sat silently, their hearts open to Buddha's wisdom. The sun cast gentle shadows upon the gathering beneath the tree. Buddha began his teaching, his voice steady and calm like a flowing river. The craving for approval arises from insecurity. To seek validation from others, Buddha continued, is to forget the infinite worth that already resides within your being. He paused, allowing his words to sink into the hearts of the disciples. The wind carried his voice like a melody. Once, a talented artisan named Sudipa lived in a humble village, Buddha said, beginning a story to illustrate his lesson. Her pottery was praised for its beauty and detail. Admired by villagers and merchants alike, Buddha narrated with vivid clarity. Despite her success, Sudipa felt incomplete, fearing that without approval, her creations were meaningless. Buddha continued, weaving the tale. Each day, she carried her finest works to the marketplace. Scanning faces for admiration, desperate for validation, Buddha shared. A wise wanderer visited the village. Observing Sudipa's unease and approaching her with gentle words of wisdom, Buddha revealed, "Why do you tie your joy to fleeting praise? Approval is like water in cupped hands. Impossible to grasp," he said. The Buddha's voice remained unwavering as he paused for impact. His disciples reflected upon the metaphor of fleeting approval. Sudipa hesitated, her heart conflicted between her longing for praise and the sage's poignant truth. Buddha described with deep resonance. The wanderer smiled kindly, leaving Sudipa with thoughts to ponder. He departed, his wisdom lingering in her thoughts. Buddha said. The Buddha turned to Ananda and his disciples, his expression serene. Like Sudipa, we often forget our inner worth. Ananda's eyes lowered, acknowledging the truth in Buddha's words. The disciples nodded, recognizing the parallels in their own struggles. The more we chase approval, the further we drift from contentment. True peace resides within, beyond external validation, Buddha said. The disciples listened intently, their minds absorbing the lesson like rain nourishing thirsty soil. Buddha's wisdom resonated profoundly. In the endless pursuit of approval, we become enslaved to the ever-changing tides of human opinions, Buddha cautioned. The ego's hunger for validation blinds us to our inherent completeness, disconnecting us from inner peace. Buddha elaborated thoughtfully. Struggles are gifts wrapped in pain, awaiting the moment you untangle their hidden teachings, Buddha affirmed. Ananda felt his chest swell with newfound determination. The flickering light of hope rekindled within him. The disciples closed their eyes briefly, contemplating Buddha's words. Ananda felt a flicker of clarity within his restless mind. Ananda, Buddha addressed him directly. Release your need for external approval and embrace the boundless peace within your true self. Seek not fleeting praise, but cultivate a heart rooted in mindfulness and contentment, Buddha advised with profound sincerity. Ananda bowed deeply, gratitude welling in his heart. The teachings had planted seeds of transformation within him. The Bodhi tree swayed gently, witnessing the disciples' awakening. Buddha's words lingered in the air, carrying wisdom to the soul. Buddha concluded, his voice a steady beacon amidst the sea of uncertainty. Practice mindfulness to anchor your soul in peace. The sun set, casting golden light upon the gathering. The disciples carried Buddha's teachings within their hearts, forever changed. Another day, the Bodhi tree cast its shade upon Buddha and his disciples. The morning air carried a tranquil essence. Ananda, no longer bound by the weight of doubt, discovered strength hidden in the shadows of failure. The night deepened, silence enveloping the forest as the stars sparkled above. Ananda spoke, his voice filled with concern. Master, I find myself trapped by desires, fearing rejection and craving constant approval. The Buddha listened attentively, his expression kind and understanding. Ananda, let us explore the nature of ego and its traps. The disciples sat beneath the tree, their hearts ready to absorb Buddha's teachings. The leaves swayed gently in the breeze. Buddha began speaking, his voice steady and calm. The ego is a demanding force, seeking validation to sustain its fragile identity. You inquire, how do I begin? Buddha replies, start with stillness. A silent mind unveils truth. A restless mind fosters chaos. The tale of King Vijaya illustrates the pitfalls of ego, Buddha said. Beginning his story, his disciples leaned closer to listen. Vijaya ruled over a vast kingdom, enjoying power and riches. Despite his fortune, he craved adoration from all his subjects. Driven by this craving, Vijaya hosted grand feasts, distributed gold, and commissioned statues to immortalize his image. Buddha narrated vividly. One day, a hermit visited Vijaya's palace. Observing the king's unease, the Bodhi tree stands silent, witness to your transformation. Buddha's presence lingers, his wisdom now your guide in chaos. The more you pursue it, the more it eludes you. The hermit's wisdom puzzled the king. Master, I feel as though I have failed completely. Was my love and care for this tree in vain? Sundara asked. Buddha picked up a brittle leaf from the ground, tracing the delicate veins with his fingers, even in its falling. The leaf offers wisdom. Slowly, he realized the futility of his pursuits. Driven by the ego's demand, Buddha paused, allowing the story to resonate in the hearts of his disciples. The gentle rustle of leaves filled the silence. The ego blinds us, creating attachments and illusions that disconnect us from inner peace, Buddha said. His voice carried wisdom. The desire for approval is rooted in fear, which feeds the ego's insatiable hunger and strengthens its grip, Buddha explained. Ananda lowered his gaze, contemplating his own desires and fears. The disciples remained silent, absorbing Buddha's transformative teachings. The hermit's advice to Vijaya reveals the key to freedom from the ego's traps, letting go of pursuit, Buddha said. Buddha's presence radiated calmness, inspiring reflection within the gathering. The Bodhi tree swayed gently, a witness to their awakening. To let go, we must cultivate mindfulness, observing our thoughts without judgment and detaching from approval's fleeting nature, Buddha shared. Through mindfulness, we can recognize the ego's illusions and free ourselves from its demands. Reclaiming peace within, Buddha concluded. The disciples closed their eyes briefly, practicing mindfulness as Buddha instructed. Their hearts began to awaken to his teachings. Ananda bowed deeply, his gratitude boundless. Buddha's wisdom planted seeds of transformation within him and the other disciples. The sun climbed higher in the sky, casting light upon the gathering. Buddha's teachings lingered in the air, inspiring renewal. The disciples dispersed, carrying Buddha's lessons within their hearts. The Bodhi tree stood witness, swaying gently in the midday breeze. Another day, the Bodhi tree stood as a silent witness, its shade embracing Buddha and his gathered disciples with tranquility. You ponder deeply, touched by the widow's tale. Buddha senses your contemplation, his wisdom illuminating the path forward. Ananda approached, bowing deeply. Master, how do we truly overcome the craving for approval and find lasting liberation? He asked sincerely. The Buddha nodded gently, his eyes filled with compassion. Ananda, liberation begins with mindful awareness and the understanding of impermanence. The disciples leaned closer, their attention fixed on Buddha's every word. The morning breeze carried a sense of serene anticipation. Buddha began, his voice steady and warm. I will share the story of Arya, a shepherd who sought inner peace. Arya tended his flock in the hills, spending solitary days under the open sky and sleepless nights filled with longing. Buddha said he yearned for the company of others, craving their approval to fill the void of isolation he carried. Buddha narrated compassionately, Sundara, let go of what you cannot control, and embrace each moment for the beauty it offers. Buddha concluded. The disciples returned to their meditation, their hearts resonating with the wisdom they had received. Buddha sat beside Sundara, offering his silent presence as a source of solace and strength. The moon rose higher, its silver light illuminating the faces of those gathered around the Bodhi tree. Sundara gazed at the sapling one last time, its brittle branches whispering lessons he now understood. The forest became a sanctuary of wisdom, where impermanence danced alongside resilience and hope. The more he observed, the more he realized that both approval and criticism were as fleeting as the wind. Buddha explained, he came to understand his worth was not defined by others, but by the infinite, unshakable presence within. Buddha concluded. The disciples listened in silence, their hearts touched by Arya's transformation and the profound simplicity of the sage's teachings. Buddha turned to Ananda, his voice filled with gentle resolve. Ananda, like Arya, mindfulness is the path to liberation. Mindfulness allows us to witness our thoughts, detach from their grip, and recognize their impermanence. Buddha said with conviction, when we cultivate self-awareness, the craving for approval diminishes, replaced by an enduring sense of peace. Buddha shared with warmth. Ananda bowed deeply, his gratitude immeasurable. He felt the weight of his insecurities begin to lift, replaced by newfound clarity. The disciples practiced mindfulness together, sitting beneath the Bodhi tree. The air was still, yet their hearts felt deeply alive. The practice of mindfulness is the anchor to guide you through turbulent waves of desire and doubt. Buddha encouraged them. Buddha's teachings resonated like ripples in a pond, reaching the hearts of his disciples and awakening their inner strength. As the sun dipped lower, casting a golden glow, the gathering felt a profound sense of unity and renewal. Buddha rose, his presence a beacon of peace. Continue practicing mindfulness and discover the boundless liberation that awaits within you. The disciples dispersed with hearts full of inspiration. Buddha's words carried them, like a guiding light on their journey to freedom. The Bodhi tree swayed gently, its branches sheltering the space where transformation unfolded. The evening sky embraced a tranquil stillness. Failures like these weigh heavily upon the spirit, yet they also contain seeds of resilience. Buddha began, his voice calm. The villagers leaned closer, captivated by the wisdom their revered teacher began to unfold before them. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.